Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. What has happened in Nairobi today is a wake-up call to our leaders that this country needs a surgery, that the country is bleeding. And what we've seen is what I can call a bleeding nation. I want to first let me say that KTN and NTV and Citizen free-to-air signals have been switched off finally after they defied Communications Authority's order to stop live stream of today's protest. And they did what, according to them, was right. In this podcast, we are going to look at some interesting scenes, or rather not interesting, but some outrageous scenes from today's protest, why President is really not having an answer to the questions the public are demanding. The questions being raised by members of public, the President is not giving a response to those answers. And I can tell you, that's what I'm saying, the country is bleeding. Kindly subscribe to our channel, and I am still just updating you about our son Steve here, who we supported the mother in March. The mother passed on, but then days later he had a stroke. So we came through last week to find out how we could help, and after all the tests that were done, it was established that he has a spinal tumor of the spine, and it's deeply embedded there. Apart from that, Steve had bed sores because I was spending much time on it, and the doctors were very wary about the procedures that are supposed to be done, and of course with family consent. So what we resorted to do on our end is first to put him under clinical care, paid clinical care for the next 6 months, because it was really important to address the bed sores. So atakuwa nafanyiwa dressing on a daily basis, so that the bed sores can be can dry up and they can be addressed, and also the physio. And we also bought for him a wheelchair, at least to be moved around, as we still ponder about the next course of action, which will then, after biopsy is done, they establish it is cancerous, which type of cancer, they will choose either to do chemo or radio, but that will come later. For now, the two is what we are looking at. I'm saying thank you very much. Those who still want to reach out, I put my contact there. If you have another solution, you can also reach out and just give us your peace of mind on that matter. And I want to say thank you. These are no longer the days when switching off TV stations could control the flow of information. We are firmly in the age of social media, an era where information spreads in real time and beyond the reach of the traditional means of mass communication, the radio and the TV. So any attempt to suppress or distort unfolding of events through these unlawful tactics will only deepen the public mistrust. And I think the President is really treading very dangerous route and causing unnecessary panic, both on his side and on the side of the masses. I listened to the speeches of hypocrite Raila Odinga and his brother William Ruto in Kilifi, and I am not afraid to say that the two gentlemen are simply out of touch with whatever is happening in this country. And it's either they're being misadvised, or maybe they've decided that is what to tell the people. And I'm saying that because I want to explain why I believe so. First, listen to this.
Ati wakati tulikuwa tunafanya maandamano, watu walikuwa wamepata majeraha. Kuna wengine ambao walikufa. Hiyo ni 2023. Hata mwaka jana wengine walikufa. Ili tumalize hii maneno yote kama Wakenya, tuanze safu mpya. Nilisema wale ambao walikufa, wazazi wao wapate nini? Fidia. na hata wale ambayo mwaka jana wa Gen Z iwe namna hiyo, na wale ambayo wako sasa katika hospitali vile vile wapewe pesa ya kupata matibabu. Hii maneno ikishe, tuanze safu mpya, tukaendelea mbele. Hii itaweza Kenya itakuwa kuja pamoja na tutatembea kama taifa moja. Mambo ya 2027 inakuja, lakini tuko 2025. Hatuwezi kufanya campaign kwa miaka mitano kila mara kwa mara. Tukifanya namna hiyo, nchi haiwezi kuendelea mbele. Mpaka tuwe wakati ambaye kuna amani. Kama uchaguzi imekwisha, tunarudi. Tunangoja mpaka tena uchaguzi mwingine ikuje, alafu jitokeze fanya campaign vile inafanyika katika nchi zingine. Na kule Marekani watu wanangoja mpaka mwisho wa mwaka wa 3 ndio anaanza kutangaza mimi nitasimama. Hii mambo ya kusema ati mimi tunataka kutoa hii, ikifika wakati ile nitasimama na wewe wenyewe utafute watu upige wewe kura. Kusema wewe utatoka, wananchi ndio watatoa mtu nje, sio wewe. Kusema ati wewe ni uko na shareholders, hapa ni shareholders, wale wengine wako na shares mingi zaidi, wengine wako na shares kidogo, wengine hawana shares. Hiyo ni taifa gani? Na kama wewe una shares, mbona unatoa ushuru? Unatoza ushuru sababu gani kama wewe huna shares? Hiyo tutasema hii ni mambo ya ujinga ambayo haina maana hata kidogo. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema tunataka Kenya moja.
We may be of different opinions. We may have different strategies, but we must have a nation first. And secondly, we must be united as a nation so that we can build this nation together. And we must concentrate on the transformation of Kenya. Transform our agriculture for food security. Transform our housing program to create jobs. Transform our universal health coverage to create opportunities for every Kenyan to be treated in a fair and dignified manner, and to move this country forward together. On that, I am all in, and I will make sure that we transform our nation. Na wauliza, hata wale wako na maoni tofauti, hata wakati wa maandamano, pia tuhakikishe ya kwamba maandamano yale yasiwe ya fujo, yasiwe ya kuharibu mali, yasiwe ya kuharibu amani katika taifa letu la Kenya, kwa sababu hatuna taifa lingine ambalo tutahamia mambo yakiharibika hapa. Sisi taifa letu la Kenya ndio hili, na ni nafasi yetu na ni wajibu wetu kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunalinda amani ya taifa letu la Kenya, na yale yote tunayafanya yawe chini ya sheria, na tuhakikishe ya kwamba hatuharibu amani ya taifa letu la Kenya.
You can see them reading from violent protest. Of course, Raila holds and is just making cosmetic statement that, you know, protest is a right. You will understand that not once, not twice, the president is actually profiling protesters. He's more busy of profiling protesters than actually even the security officers. And I want to disabuse the notion that it is the protesters who are wrong. It is actually both sides. It is both the protesters and also on the side of the police. But I want us to understand, how did we arrive here? You know, we arrived here after I do analysis. I normally say, whatever we are, the situation we are at, we didn't arrive here yesterday, not today. This is a cumulative damage that we've caused the country. We had such a protest that started from finance bill, people were killed, and when people demanded answers, we were told police are right, those are criminal elements. We didn't come through, and their questions, they asked the president, please reduce your advisors. That has not changed. Just recently, just change that, someone is killed in a police station. And by the time people are protesting about it, police shoot someone else. And when the president is supposed to address it, he sends goons to the public. You know, we've come here, we've come over time to be here, and that is why it does not need an overnight solution. And the president only sticks to one point. The president is only looking at who is protesting right and who is protesting wrong. While in real sense, the president, Raila Odinga and William Ruto, should be responding to, why are these people in the street? Instead of saying those who like and those who don't like. That is not the conversation. By then in that street, there is no opposition or government. No. Those who are in the streets, there is a common goal. And the common question is, when will police brutality end? Now, that is the conversation the president should be addressing. Not saying who is protesting well and who is protesting bad. That one the public can gauge. What the public wants to hear from the head of state is, what is his response on the issue of police brutality? And I want to show you this. I want you to look at these sound bites. One is Larry Madowo helped these people, these protesters who are cornered and they were being terrorized by the police. I just want you to look at that video. And deep from my heart, I want to tell Larry, thank you. Larry, thank you. I want to say that is the real journalism. And the moment I saw, you know, there are people that they're not celebrated. People just see news. For me, I celebrate him. And he told them, twende na nyinyi. After those people told him, ukituacha up, and by the way, it's not, I can tell you, kama ingekuwa the cameras are not there, they would have beaten those guys. Look at the video. Those gentlemen, they don't have anything. They don't have any tool. They just have their cameras. They just have their phones. And they're speaking English. So this could have been university students. These are people who, they're there unarmed. And they had to undergo all through that. Until they say, Larry, ukituacha hapa tutauliwa. You know? And by then, I've established, I checked the other video that Larry did after this scene, and he was with them until he made sure that they got to a safe place. So, and this tells you, remember, Larry is working for international media. So, ingekuwa to Citizen, to NTV hapa, I'm telling you, police would have even beaten up even that journalist. But he decided to stand in the middle. because he knew very well that the police will not attack him. Ingekuwa some local fellows here, it would have been different. Now, that is the side of it. I also agree with the president that there are indeed criminal elements within these protests. I don't know, but there should be something deeper than what we are consuming about Kiambu Law Court being touched. Not Kiambu, Kikuyu Law Court. That one is in Kikuyu constituency. That is the constituency of Kimani Ichun'gwa.
Walisha wengi ndani leo mheshimiwa.
Kuna kijana hapo. Kwa Kikuyu police station na kumeharibika pia, but let me try. So niende kwa transmitters zetu sawa.
And that is Kiambu County. That is amongst the areas from Mount Kenya that has experienced the deep, that was the brunt of that protest. Kiambu Law Court touched. And I can tell you, I look at the sound bites of how the protests have changed. What happened here is, when people got the numbers in town, they were charging to State House. Yes. They were charging to State House. And if you look at these sound bites, if you look at these videos, you will see these characters were good. The protesters were heading to State House. Yes, people died in Parliament. People have always been shot. But they braved the situation and said they're heading to Parliament. And you can really see that what we are actually handling casually is not what we really think. We are dealing with a big monster that, unless we're intentional about it, the country is bleeding. And there is an answer. I don't know what's going to happen, But there is a question that people are demanding answers, and those who are supposed to give answers are just giving rhetorics. So we should replace those rhetorics. The political rhetorics we are playing, we should replace them with the real answers. There is something not going on. And I can tell you in that street, it is not just about Ojwang. It is not about Boniface Karaoke. It is not just about that. It is about the system. People are demanding the reboot of the system. And it should be a reality to the president that probably shouting affordable housing, how many people have registered on SHA, blah, blah, those things are not clicking. They are not. The other thing I've realized is the issue of the one-term influence. These were protesters. They were chanting the one-term soundtrack by Rigathi Gachagua, voice over by Rigathi Gachagua, is actually being played in the speakers. Blowing in the speakers, and people seem to be taking it. In fact, you can say Rigathi is a tribalist, you can say Rigathi is that, Rigathi is this, and Raila Odinga and the team are still talking about that shareholding thing. It happened way back before. They're still holding into that shareholding thing. But in real sense, we might not like Rigathi, but Rigathi is saying things that are actually resonating with the masses. People might have a problem with Rigathi as a person, maybe his brand of politics, and the kind of statements that he used to make as a deputy president. But the president has given Rigathi energy, the powers, and fodder. Because what Rigathi is saying is what exactly is affecting the people. I saw Arrowboy artists, Arrowboy, Calligraph Jones, Babu Owino, Mamito, and other artists in town who came to cover the June 25th protest. I think we will not do away with June 25th protest. That for sure I can tell you. We are not going to do away with this because the mobilization is above board. And the fact that it is a day to remember the heroes who died last year is something that is sticking into the people's mind. I can say this, and I dare repeat it. One day, these young people will get to parliament. Not parliament, they've gotten to State House. The issue is just numbers. Remember, police had to block the team from Kiambu. They had to be blocked on the other side of all soaps. There was the team from Wayaki, which was also blocked. There's the other team from Kangundo Road, not Kangundo Road. Kangundo Road, Kayoli, which was also blocked. And there's another team that was blocked on the other side of Kawangware and Kibera. So, and this, you want to believe is that way without the people from Kibera that people normally talk about. Raila Odinga and William Ruto must get it right. They are actually living a lie. And if they are working on something together, then they're actually working on borrowed time. This population we are dealing with is a different population altogether. And they have actually disabused the notion that it was Raila Odinga who could actually mobilize protest in Nairobi. And they have also disabused the second notion that the protest must have leaders. You know, I saw Morara Kebaso saying now he's stepping aside from politics, he's retreating from politics, and I know that was a tactic. I've always believed Morara Kebaso has been an NIS agent. I'm always convinced. So that was to try to show that, the Gen Z now lacks leadership because they had self-imposed themselves on the Gen Zs as their leaders. So remember the Gen Z, the leadership, the Kassim Ures, the Morara Kebasos, the characters that were really spearheading it are not there. But the people are turning out in their numbers. And look at the turnout in some of those areas. Bungoma, Mombasa, Meru, Nyeri, Nairobi, Kakamega, Busia, part of Kisumu, Homa Bay, Mombasa, Kilifi. You cannot underestimate. And I think on this one, we must really reboot the country because we are working on borrowed time. Thank you.